Hi, I'm Howard Hewett. My friends and I, we've been in this music game for a long time. So now we want to share some experiences, some insights, and most of all, some advice with you. Welcome to the industry with Howard Hewett. Yeah. Hi! My guest today has been in the game for over 4 decades, y'all. He's a musician, a singer, a songwriter, producer, Grammy Award winner, Academy Award nominee, entrepreneur, everything. I want you to welcome my best friend, Mr. Ray Parker Jr.
Right on, my man.
What up, what up?
Here we go. Ow!
Running up to it now. Everybody gonna be known.
Ow!
They don't
Good God.
know what kind of change. Sam do don't baby down, bang, 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 bang. Hello, baby, baby. Being abstract now, baby, baby. Yeah, yeah. Well, I got the feeling. What up, man?
There you go, man. Good
How you
to be
doing?
here. I'm great.
Good.
Good to be here.
Welcome to the industry, man.
Yeah,
this
thank
is
you.
this is a format that we put together. We want to just talk about, because a lot of people always have a lot of questions, and I think the best way to answer a lot of things and dispel a lot of myths and all that kind of stuff is for people who have been in the game to talk about the game.
Yeah.
Talk about it, because it's like to last for decades and decades and decades. Like we said, you and I both.
We're still here.
You started out a little while, before me. You're a little older than I am, but
Did you hear what he just said? Like a little, like this much, a little
bit.
Yeah.
But to hang around and be able to to be able to be viable, to be able to make a good living, make a profitable living. It takes more than just luck. I believe luck lasts as long as you throw 7-11.
Exactly.
It's about really planning and plotting out certain things
And enjoying what you
and
do.
enjoying
Yeah,
what
you gotta love music, and you gotta love what you're doing.
Man, you gotta
otherwise you just won't make it.
I know.
You gotta put your all into it.
Yeah.
A lot of times I speak at colleges and something, they start talking about, well, what's my son's plan B gonna do? I say you should burn plan B.
I know.
There's no plan. I've never seen anybody with a plan B who didn't end up doing plan B.
Plan B,
so
exactly.
just only plan A.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
you got to make that decision.
That's what you put your mind towards. You put your energy towards that. And I tell people now things are a little different now than they were back in the day.
Yeah, they're making more money now.
Yeah, they make exactly.
A lot more money now.
Yeah, and there's a lot more that you put as far as you don't let a lot of people dictate your whole situation.
Exactly.
I think that's what the main thing, one of the main things is happening now too. And that's what the rap game, when we talk about rap and all that kind of stuff, that's what the rap game brought into the whole thing.
What's up? I hate to say it, but some of those guys are smarter.
They're
smarter than we were. They looked at, I guess they looked at our generation and said, man, those guys sing their hearts out, but they let that guy take all that money. We ain't doing that. Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Exactly.
So they're the newer generation, the second generation, and they're just like, no, we gonna collect. There's nothing wrong with collecting at the same time. We did the work. Did the work. We should collect the money.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really do applaud the younger generation for that. They figured out how to get it. They're paying more attention.
Definitely. So now because you came up in Detroit.
Yeah.
And Detroit.
Love Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. And at the time you coming up, because like I said, you and I were around the same time and stuff. So there was a lot of stuff happening with the civil rights movement and a whole lot of the Detroit riots, the whole thing, all that kind of stuff. But the other thing that was happening in Detroit that was cold blood was Motown.
Music. Yeah, we had, it wasn't just Motown. We had United Sound with Stax Records. We had Holland Doja Holland with Invictus, Hot Wax, and of course Motown was the big one. And I lived about 14 blocks away from Motown.
Yeah.
So I could walk there.
Yeah, you and Ollie Brown. Brown.
Yeah, Ollie, Sylvester Rivers. Yeah, in fact, our band, we played on the street because we heard that's how Diana Ross got her deal, and they just closed the shutters on us.
What was the name of your band?
The Stingrays.
The Stingrays.
With R-A-Y in it. Stingrays. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's like they closed the doors on us. We couldn't believe we set up right outside of Motown and played. We played for a little while. Next thing we know, people came, took the windows, closed the windows, shut it down. I said, "Oh, I guess that means we ain't gonna get signed."
Not the Temptations.
Yeah, we were young. We were like 12, 13 years old. We thought we were ready.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, but because the same thing was like happening like in the whole Midwest vibe. Because I came up in Akron, Ohio. Yeah. So it was that whole top 40 thing and Parliament Funkadelic. We were like heavy into that whole thing, funky. And, we had outfits made that sometimes I couldn't even figure out how to put them on.
You're right.
Because it was all strapped up and everything.
Yeah, arm bracelets and all stuff. Everything's bling bling and it's heavy too. All that leather stuff was heavy.
Jumping up on top of amplifiers and all that. So, but so what were some of the things that you had to kind of like sidestep? Because also Detroit was pretty rough. It's always been kind of a pretty rough place.
Yeah, there was a lot of violence in Detroit.
Yeah.
So the first thing you got to do is figure out how to live with the violence.
How to step around that.
Not piss nobody off and make sure you ain't in those spots where you can get lifted.
Yeah.
But for me, it was bad because the police would beat me up all the
time. Really?
Yeah. It's interesting. I have 4 sons. They're all taller than me, and they all play sports. And I think they like sports because I don't know anything about sports. I don't know anything about basketball, football. I don't even know how the games are played, right? And that's because when I was younger, the police would grab me and they would beat me up. And then they'd take me like a mile or 2 away from home and drop me off.
And they
shake me by my ankles and take my 11.5 cents, you know what I mean? And 4 M&Ms, that I'd saved, and they take my football or my basketball, and that would be that. And after enough times, you just say, okay, well, I guess it's illegal to play back. I'm not get that out of my mind. Get my mind right. Get that out of my mind. So that really hurt me growing up.
So when did you start into music? When did you?
I started 6 years old.
6 years old.
Yeah, I was playing the clarinet. My best friend Ollie was playing the drums, and Nathan was playing the trumpet. Nathan Watts.
Okay.
And so we had the band called the Stingrays. And I think the teacher named the band after me because I was the least interested in music. So he said, well, I got to give him a little pep. So I got to get him going. And I only went to the music class to avoid dancing with the girls in gym class. Yeah. So I wasn't really a dedicated musician at the time. Unlike my 2 friends, they actually signed up for the class because they wanted to play music. Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, if I can get out of gym class, I'll go to the music class.
Yeah.
But after this teacher, Alfred T. Kirby was his name, most important person in my life. He just made the music fun. So he made me really get into it, and I played the clarinet and sax. And somewhere about 9 or 10 years old, all that blowing on the sax, and I didn't have any ideas either. I mean, I was at first chair in the band, sight reading, so I could sight read the music. But when the music stopped, I stopped. Somebody said, well, take a solo, man, jam. I didn't know what jam meant. I just didn't have no ideas. And one Christmas, my brother got one of these guitars. I call it a box guitar because it's not electric. And he had a cheap one. It's like $50, And I traded him my $800 saxophone for his $50 guitar. My dad was so pissed off, But I just liked the guitar. I mean, it was like you play more than one note at a time. You could sing with it or talk with it, and you could carry it with you. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah. So it was like that was the first instrument was a clarinet.
Clarinet, yeah.
You played the clarinet.
I played the clarinet and sax for like 5 years.
Well, sax I can see, but clarinet, sax I can get it with the sax.
Yeah.
Clarinet, that's interesting. But then you went.
Well, it was lighter than the sax.
Yeah.
So I was 6 years old. I carried the instrument home.
That's right. You're 6 years old.
I wanted to play the flute, but the girls had taken all the flutes. So it was like, what else can you take? We ain't gonna beat a tuba. I'll tell you that. So
the tuba. I played the tuba for a minute.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And I played tuba in my band thing at I think I was in junior high or something like that. I can't remember, but that didn't last too long.
No, that tuba.
So you weren't a real dedicated musician because you weren't into the girls.
No.
At first, you weren't into. that's a dedicated.
But it's interesting. The dedication music had to be into the girls, right?
Into the girls. I mean, that
wasn't in the girls that early.
That was the whole thing. Hey, man, I was 10 years
really
old.
looking at the girls at 10, 11 years old.
And the church girls, they were great, man.
Oh my gosh,
amazing.
The church girls too. Did he say the church? All right, he said he's gonna tell y'all the truth. This confession time.
That's it.
The church girls at 10, 11.
The industry. This part of the industry because
I never saw a girl till I was 17. I mean, I just wasn't into it at all. I didn't even see them.
I had a girlfriend when I was in kindergarten. Her name was Lynetta Jones.
Okay.
Cute little thing.
Hey, that explains a lot of things.
See, I know.
That explains a lot.
Okay, let's change the subject. Right. Now, but so coming up in Detroit, then because I know you and Ali were in Detroit. Ali Brown.
And Nathan Watts,
Nathan Watts, and Ali's a good friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
And so then you guys when did the whole thing, as far as you really knowing that this is what you wanted to do?
Oh, that wasn't until I was like 24 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and before 24, I always thought, man, I'm doing pretty well. I'll make some money this year. And when it's over, I'll go back to Detroit and open a McDonald's and finish school or something.
Yeah.
I saved all my money, and I figured I'm going to need it, right?
Yeah.
So, because one day I'll go back to Detroit and buy a business, franchise or something, open a business and live.
So you would have been living your plan B.
Songs by business franchise.
What was that?
I don't know. But they talking about they heard McDonald's and they start
Alexa.
talking.
Oh, that's Alexa.
Yeah. Shut up, Alexa.
Alexa, shut up.
Yeah. So my thing was always, because my dad always told me this is short-term business,
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to do on the weekend, but you got to get a real job at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Get retirement money, pension plan. Because, everybody in Detroit worked for the big three, Ford, GM, and Chrysler.
Okay,
and they had the benefits, the insurance.
Yeah, that's right, because it's the car industry.
Yeah. So everybody was geared towards that. In fact, everybody in my band, except for the ones you mentioned, worked at the car industries.
Yeah.
The factories, and some of them got sick and ain't here no more too. Breathing in all that bad air and stuff. So for me, it was like I loved playing music, and it was a hard decision in the teens because I was, everybody kept saying you got to do this, you got to work before, and I'm like, yeah, but I really like playing the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too bad I can't do that because I like that. Y'all want me to go in the office. So I was never really looking forward to being a grown up because okay, well that's where they're gonna lock me in this cubicle for the next 60 years. And maybe I'll have a window, maybe I won't, and that'll be the end of that. So to me, it was like, well, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So listen, we're gonna come back. We're gonna take a break for 1 minute, and then we want to come back and we want to talk about your journey to LA.
Okay.
And then getting into the business as far as like deals and contracts and stuff, because that's a lot of stuff that people get kind of hung up on also. So we
should talk a little bit about Detroit too.
Yeah.
Tell them what was happening in Detroit, because it leads to what was happening in LA.
Okay.
Or why it was happening in LA.
Good. We'll come back. We'll be right back here at the industry. What's up? We're back here in the industry. I'm here with Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah.
What's up? We were talking about Detroit.
Detroit days.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the Detroit days. When I switched over to the guitar from the clarinet and saxophone, it was magic. It was almost like a gift from God. I mean, I had so many ideas on the guitar that I couldn't even tell you anything else. And what was interesting is a year into it, playing the guitar and practicing, I broke my leg. And I broke it bad. Twisted it, broke it in like 3 places, and I had a cast all the way from my toes all the way up to my waist.
Wow.
And I had to go to cripple school and all that kind of stuff. They thought I was never going to walk. But what it did for me is I couldn't do anything except play the guitar. So I played the guitar every day, all day for like a year.
Wow.
And, about 12 and a half, I had gotten really, really good. Plus, I think my gift to the world was to play rhythm guitar. I mean, I could really play the guitar. At 12 and a half, I think it was just turned 13, I got a job with the Spinners, going on tour with the Spinners. It was the first band I ever went on tour with, And Billy Henderson looked at me, he says, well, a little bit young, but if you can play this chart, he had this song called Fascinating Rhythm, and he had black dots all over the place. He says, nobody gets in our band if they can play this song. And I said, well, let's give it a whack. So I played the song, started going on tour with them.
So you could read.
Oh, yeah, I could read, of course.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
formally trained in school, so I could
Okay.
read, write, the whole thing. And from there, I went on to work with Hamilton Bohannon in the Motown band. I was in the house guitar player in the house band at 20 Grand, was where I met Norman Whitfield and played behind Gladys Knight, the Temptations, and all the acts. Then that expanded to, let's say I'm 15 years old now. Then I started working with Marvin Gaye on all his records. Smokey Robinson would take me into Motown. I was working on his records. And right about that age, Holland Dozier Holland left Motown because they had a group called the Funk Brothers who did most of the Motown sessions, My Girl and all the big stuff when I was, too young to do. And so they couldn't work at Holland Dozier Holland. So I did all of the records at Holland Dozier Holland. That meant the Free to Pain records, Honeycomb, put in the one ads, all that kind of stuff, Chairman of the Board, Patches, the one on the sun, all of those kind of records. I was doing all those records as a kid and making really good money. I mean, enough money where I maybe doubled or tripled my dad's salary as a teenager. He thought I was selling drugs, so he hired my cousin to follow me around and see what I'm doing. He said, ain't no way in the world that boy making that much money playing guitar. He's playing guitar. So he didn't believe it, But at the same time, I was getting my education in school. I was going to summer school every year to get out early. Only set back a year because of my leg. But I still graduated at 17. So I really, made a name for myself playing the guitar and, playing on everybody's records, and just about everybody in Motown knew me for playing the guitar. So then I'm going to college at 17 years old. And I'm at the middle to the end of the first year, which is where the big life change came. At that time, Music from My Mind by Stevie Wonder was my favorite record. I had 8-track in my car. I bought me a new Grand Prix, and that's all I played was one song. One track, 8-track. Played the whole album over and over. And so one day I came home and the phone rang, and it was Stevie Wonder calling me on the telephone.
Really?
And I hung up the phone. I said, "Oh, who's this? Sylvester, Nathan, and all this." So I hung up the phone, and he called back. I hung up again. I hung up again. Then he called back again, and I was like starting to get annoyed, so I put some 4-letter words in front of it, and still hung up again. And then he called me again and said, "Hey, it's really Stevie Wonder. We getting hooked up." He says, He said, "Before you hang up, let me play something." And he played me the beginning of Superstition.
Okay.
The rhythm track. He had the bass on and a little bit of clarinet and the drums, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I hang up. And at first I was gonna hang up because if you think about it, Superstition starts off with da 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 da. So I thought it was marching drums. I was like, "Oh, this ain't no." But then the thing came. It was Steve. So he said that he had heard about me from everybody else, and he said he wanted me to go on tour with him and the Rolling Stones, and he wanted me to work on this album he was doing called Talking Book, and he wanted me to cut an album with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young in San Francisco.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm in school taking drafting to learn how to work in a cubicle, and I'll never forget at the time. I'll never forget in our class, they said if you're an A student in 5 years, you'll make 50 grand. If you're a B student in 5 years, you make 40 grand. C student in 5 years, you make 30 grand, right? And so I went home and I said, I told Stevie I got to talk to my dad. My dad was crying. He said, "Man, I've been saving money for you to go to college and be the first one in our family to graduate." I mean, it's a real depressing moment. He says, "I've been saving type E savings bonds since before you were born, like 3 years before you were born. Wow. Just that one day I'm gonna have a son, da da da." And I said, "Dad, that's nice, but that's your dream. It ain't my dream."
Yeah.
Right? And so we had to have a heart-to-heart talk. And he was telling me about the pension plan forward and all that stuff, and I could be a white collar worker. He's a blue collar worker. And I basically told him, I think the line to convince him, I said, "Dad, if you're going to lock me in a cubicle and make me work in the same room for 50 years, I say, I would appreciate if you just shoot me now and get over it. Don't punish me like that. Don't send me to prison," right? And so he really got after that line, he really got the feeling that I wasn't in it.
That you're serious about it.
Yeah, I want to play music. I said, and you're talking about this 50 grand. I could double that now. I said, I ain't 18 years old. I could double that. Why do I have to wait 5 years to make less than I'm making now? He says, "Oh, son, you're gonna leave. You're never gonna go back to college." Well, he was right about that. But
exactly.
What could we say? So that is what took me out of Detroit. So I went on tour with Stevie Wonder and the Rolling Stones. I was just turning 18 years old. And that was a life-changing experience. Because,
I bet it was.
He was teaching me how to write songs, and we went in the studio. And unlike the other people who were hiring me just for 3-hour sessions, I was with him every day. Right? If he was doing something, I was driving him around, and we became like best buddies. And he showed me how to write songs and showed me how to arrange it and put the stuff in. He paid for the studio time at the record plant. And so I saw a lot of things. Plus, I saw different cities for a change. Right. And we were traveling the world. Right. So to me, that was the biggest eye-opener.
But that's because that's something that's so important now as far as like songwriting is concerned. And which even for myself, you know, I'm not the fast food writer. I can't lock myself away and say from 9 to 5 I'm going to write. Which has been a cool thing because the songs that I've written have been songs that's lasted through years and years. But it's a crazy thing because I still, you know, I still love to see like Stevie's royalty check. Just one Stevie's royalty check. And you know, Face, LA and Face and all those guys who did lock themselves away and did, I mean, literally they were like, okay, from 9 to 5
this is what we're gonna
write. You know, whether we write, you know, songs over and over.
Exactly.
And I admire cats like that do that can stay, you know, relevant. Focused, I gotta stay focused, like exactly. But I think that the writing part of this whole situation is the whole business is so important. I mean, you can't have business without a song.
That's right.
So songwriters.
Clive Davis always said the whole business starts with the song.
Yeah. Exactly.
First you got to get the song.
Ain't
nothing to sing, ain't nothing to produce, ain't nothing to play on, ain't nothing happening until you get some material.
It's all about the song. It's all about the song, you know. So that's something that's really important, and I like to hit on that too, as far as your beginning, as far as writing and the things that you wrote, because you wrote something, man, that's like a staple in the film and business and all over, you know. Every time I hear it, ching ching, Ray, Ray, ching ching, because you know when you wrote Ghostbusters, you know, it was like that was amazing, man, and you know, tell us how you.
Well, you know, that's an interesting song because at the time when I did that, I thought that I was out of the music business.
Really?
Yeah, because I had done anything in a year, and I'm not going to use the word retired, but I sort of retired, and the reason being is because my parents got sick. You know, my mom and dad were everything to me, so they had gotten sick, so I was back in Detroit. And what happened with that song is, a year later, I got a phone call from Gerald Busby. He wanted me to go see these kids in Boston, right? And I'm like sitting in Detroit. It's like February, and my mom is sick, my dad is sick, and I'm freezing cold, and I'm in Detroit. I would much rather be in my house in California, but I'm in Detroit taking care of my parents. And then I get a call from Gerald, but he talking about going to Boston. So I look at him, and it didn't take me but a minute. Oh man, nice to hear from you. You know, I always wanted to meet you and everything, but guess what? I ain't going to Boston. So I hung up the telephone and everything like that. And him being the smart guy that he was, he realized that he hadn't got my attention. Okay, so he says, "Oh man," he called back like a week later. Why don't we get the jet and go to the Bahamas?
Okay.
See kids, they're playing a concert down there. I was like, just like you. Oh, okay. You got my attention. Because you know, I'm sitting there depressed. So to me, it was like, man, I get a relief to go to the Bahamas. That sounds wonderful right about now. And now we talking. So we went down there. Me and him rode motorcycles, gambled in the casino, ate at Donald Trump's restaurant while he was there. I mean, we had a great time. How about we missed the whole band?
You missed the whole
By the time we showed up at the concert in the taxi, they were leaving the stage. Saying, Mr. Parker, how did you like the show? And I'm looking at you, I was like, uh-oh. You know, I'm like, uh-oh.
So who was the band? It was
New Edition.
New Edition.
Yeah, the New Edition was the band.
Okay.
And I felt really bad. And you know, I looked at Gerald, I said, man, I probably shouldn't have come on this trip because I said, my mom and dad are sick. I really don't feel like writing no songs. I just not in the mood. You know, just don't feel like. I was late on my record to somebody. And he said, oh, you don't have to write no song. He said, they like one of your old songs that you never finished recording, you know. And that song turned out to be Mr. Telephone.
Mr. Telephone Man.
So they, you know,
Yeah.
They made their rendition of that. They said they just want you to cut the track just like you did on the old track. They just need to. They said don't make it new. Just cut it like that.
Oh, cool.
The boys wanted just cut it. Here's the order. Just cut it just like that, and then put them on it. Let's go.
Cool. That was
so cool. That was great. So that brought me to L.A. to be in my studio because I had my studio set up where I could knock it out. So we went in my studio to record it.
Was that American?
American Studios, yeah, American.
Yeah.
So we're in Studio A at American. And I get a phone call, you know, while I'm eating lunch at the famous guy, I can't think of his name, on Sunset Boulevard. Anyway, Spargo's.
Spargo's.
So I'm at Spargo's. Cross street from Spargo's at Tower Records is this billboard, this black. and they're putting a red circle on it. I mean, everybody like, this guy, last time I said it was black. What's the red circle? It's a black billboard. Now they got a red circle there. Phone is Gary LaMelle from Warner Brothers.
Okay.
At the time, Columbia Pictures. He's vice president of Columbia Pictures. Well, I know Gary because my ex-girlfriend was working temp for him.
Okay.
And he was the publisher on all the stuff I did with Barry White. So we know each other from the Barry White days because I played on all the Barry White records at the time and wrote some of those songs too. And so he said, "You're the perfect guy for this. You got to do this." And I said, "But Gary, I'm taking care of my parents in Detroit." He says, "Where are you now?" I said, "I'm in Spargos." He says, "What are you doing in Spargos?" I said, "Well, I came in because I had to do this new edition thing." He said, "Well, then you're working." He says, "I just want you to stay 2 or 3 more days and help me out with this film." He says, "You're gonna help me out or what?" So it was like, there's nothing I can say. I'm already here. And then he made me a great offer. He says, "Hey," I tell you what. He says, "I'll give you $50,000 to stay 3 days." And what he said, just write us a song. We need the words Ghostbusters in the song now.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Write us something with Ghostbusters in it. It ain't got to be long. Like we only need a minute because it's only in the library scene. That's gonna be like 30 seconds of it. Write a minute of it. Right. Turn it in. You get your $50,000. He said, "If we don't use it, you keep the $50,000." He said, "We don't care. Just write it. You got $50,000." So I said, "Well, I'm gonna stay in LA, I guess, 3 more days and write this song." And that's the song. That was it.
Man, like I said, every time I hear it,
because it was so short, I wrote a minute and 15 seconds of it just because I don't know how to write 20 seconds of it. I don't know how to record 20 seconds. By the time I start, I'm going. So when Ivan Reitman called up and he wanted a long version of it, I was like, but y'all said don't cut much. I only cut a minute and a half. I mean, I had a verse and a chorus. That was it. The only thing. One groove here and the other groove there. And that was it. 2 grooves. And so we ended up taking 2 tape recorders and cutting and splicing it. I took the razor blade, assembled it all together, and made it 4 minutes long.
Back when they used to splice stuff together.
You had to do it with a razor blade. And
well,
tape,
I remember, man. That's amazing because that song. I know that song is like paid for a couple things in your life. But that's so and as far as Mr. Telephone Man is concerned, it's like because when you write, it lasts always forever.
I'm surprised that Telephone Man, they've been doing new edition specials, but I mean, I hear that all the time. Mr. Telephone. And I thought it wasn't that great, so I didn't cut it on myself. I should have cut it on myself. I mean, my mistake is underestimating my own song.
Exactly.
And so when I hear them sing, it's like, well, that's my I mean, I can sing it. That's my melody. I mean, I wrote it, so I can sing it. It's very simple, and the idea and everything. I don't know why I didn't cut it.
But those are some of the things that you look at because a lot of times when you write a song, I find anyway, when you write a song, you have to be objective enough to know where that song is going to get the most mileage. As far as that's concerned, and you have to have the ego out of the whole thing to like say, okay, I'm not going to do it on me. I'll do it on somebody else because it's going to get more mileage.
See, I didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
I just wrote the song and didn't like it. In fact, I redid the song. Used the same groove and changed the words to "A Woman Needs Love." And had a hit. See, I like the groove. I like the way Telephone Man was going so much with the groove. The boom, I just say, "A woman needs to do just like you." It's the same chords.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I just redid it and made it some lyrics that I thought worked for me more. But I don't know. I hear Telephone Man now. It's like, why didn't you sing this song? What are you thinking about? It was a smash. I should have sang the song.
That's like, but it's like you figure out because there's so many songs that you can write. It's like For the Lover in You when me and Dana Myers wrote For the Lover in You. Then years later, somebody else did it. Then Face did it, and I made more money when Face did it than
when the original record.
You love those kind of checks. All right, we're gonna be right back, man. Talk some more here in the industry. Check it out. We're back here on the industry. Welcome to the industry. I'm here with Ray Parker Jr., my friend, definitely. So there was a long time ago. I forget where we were. And I don't even think we were playing in the same place, but we ended up on the same plane.
Just hanging out, kicking it.
And coming back home. So it was a long flight. So Might have been Detroit or something like that. Might have been out of Detroit. But you told me you ran down the whole, because we always everybody in the industry always used to say, man, how did Ray do that? How did we make that deal, that kind of deal? But then you ran down the whole Arista deal and Clive Davis, and it was really interesting. It's there's no precedence before that as far as certain things are concerned, because people back in the day, they were taking
everything.
Taking
publishing,
everything. Everything.
I mean, publishing was gone as soon as you said I want to make a record.
Exactly.
They just take it.
Exactly.
People just take the publishing.
And I mean, an act was fortunate if they saw like 10-11% of their whole 100% thing.
That's all the money.
And and the first contracts that you had, even my first contract with Shalimar with Solar Records was something that you frame and you put it up so you can laugh at it. But you made an amazing deal with Clive Davis, which to me, Clive is one of the I don't know about now because he's kind of out of the business now somewhat, but for a long time, man, Clive was one of the last record cats to me, anyway, in the business. So that was interesting.
I had an interesting chain of events, and it started when I moved out here after I left Stevie Wonder. He taught me how to write songs. 6 months later, I was writing my first #1 record. It was called "You Got the Love," Shaka Khan and Rufus, and that went big. Then I started writing some hits for Barry White, "See the Trouble with Me," Patti LaBelle, "Joy to Have You." I mean, I started getting a lot of traction, And then about 20 years old, I wrote this song for Leo Sayer called "You Make Me Feel Like Dancing."
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I got 0 credit. I mean, that was a bad deal. I mean, it was like I was promised this, didn't happen.
Yeah.
And this, to make the short of it, this went on for a while, and I never got my due. And then they were supposed to cut an album on me, and I was supposed to get more of this, but none of that never happened. And I had given him 2 songs, that one and Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill.
And so after he didn't pay me for that song, it really cheated me out of the thing. Richard Perry, wasn't Leo Sayer, he's a nice guy. The person that ran his company, Carol Childs, it was Carol Pincus at the time, she felt so bad about it that this young kid from Detroit was getting abused this bad that she actually, even though she was running his publishing company, she took my song to Roger Birnbaum, who took it to Clive Davis, which she immediately got fired for. Okay?
No, really?
And Clive loved the song.
Yeah.
Okay. So the good news is when I went to Clive, it wasn't like it was my first record deal because I had a lot of things going. Like I would tell somebody, if you were going to make your first deal and you hadn't really done anything before, you're not going to get everything. It ain't going to happen. It's just not. You know? But when I got to Clive, I only had a demo tape with 1 song and a piece of another song, which everybody thought was amazing too, because I didn't have 4 or 5 songs like everybody got to say. I really didn't know how to sing that well, so I wasn't singing on it too much. It was like a demo stuff going on. But he loved the song, and as you said, people they start with a song. They got to have a song to build a thing around. So when I got with Clive, his whole thing was, I'll get you the best producer, I'll get you the best studio, I'll get you everything you need. Just cut this song for me, right? And at that point, if you think about it, from 13 years old to 20 or 21 years old, I had already been doing this for 8 years. So most of the stuff that happened to most of my friends had already happened to me. I'd already had a deal on A&M and got kicked off. I mean, I'd already done a lot of things, And so when I got with Clive, my mindset was different. My mindset was, okay, I hear you, but you like the song. Can we try it this way? And if you even read his book, he wrote a chapter in his book about me. And he says, this young kid comes in who never produced the record before, saying he wants to publish it, he wants to produce it, he wants to do this. He wants to cut it in his own studio, which nobody's, and it's at his house, and nobody's even heard of that at the time. And in Clive books, he says, this was long before Prince. He says, we did it before Prince.
Right.
He says, I don't know why, but I said, okay. He said, okay.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget our deal at the time was not a stupid deal. It was like, you can try it your way. But if you don't get it right, then we got to do it my way. Okay. I said, well, that's fair enough, but just give me a shot. Let me go home to my little bedroom studio that me and Reggie Dozier wired ourselves. And the equipment is sitting in the room.
Yeah.
And when I say built a studio, I don't mean put it together. I'm talking about soldered every wire. We were there for over a month. I had to give Reggie my only color TV in my house because he was like, it's taking longer than I thought. So he took my color TV. I wish I had a video of it, him putting it on the truck.
Yeah.
And so my first deal on Arista, which wasn't my first record deal, but my first deal with my group on Arista, I got to produce the record. I was the artist. I got to publish all the songs.
This was radio.
Radio.
Right.
And it was a production deal through my production company.
Right.
And it was in my studio.
Cool.
So I got all of it. So other than the stuff that I already had at home, the record cost me like $1,800 to make the whole record. Pay a couple of background singers, and I bought one big reel of tape, put all the songs in one reel of tape, and that was it.
So that was the business that you put, the way the business of that record.
Shape, because and that was the business of the record is what made everything change in my life.
Right.
Okay, because I could have been easily another artist with a hit record who still had the money.
Right.
So the business of that was put together, and I had a great lawyer, Donald Passman, who's still my lawyer today. If I do something, he helps me out. And believe it or not, it's as much as I hear on TV, the person that steered me in all those right directions was Bill Cosby.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that, but ever since I was 15, he's sort of my mentor. And he used to tell me how you're going to do the money, how you're going to manage the money, and I used to drive him from Tower in Beverly Hills to Sound City Studios, which is way in Van Nuys. So we had like 45 minutes each way.
Yeah.
And he just drilled me on how you gonna do the money, how you gonna sign every check. And I'm like, what's he telling me this for? I ain't got no money. He was like, well, what happens after $100 million? $100 million?
Exactly. I know.
I can't find it.
But that always reminds us, but that reminds me about I saw an interview with Barry White one time, and they said, I forget what show he was on, but they said, what was the first thing that you bought when you started making money? Thinking he's gonna say a car, a house. Right. He said, I bought a good attorney,
right? Right.
A good accountant and a good manager. So go ahead.
And Barry White helped me a lot too. He was very smart. But so I had a great lawyer to make the deal, and Clive was willing to make the deal. So it's not just make the deal. You may know what to do, but somebody else may say, "Man, I ain't giving you all that." What you gonna do? Walk out and not have no record come out? But he was willing to go along with it because I told him what I wanted to do, and he heard me, and I had a lot of credentials coming at the time. So he let me do all of it. And then the biggest part of it, when I played him a song, he really liked it. That canceled everything.
Yeah.
He don't care what studio it was. He don't care what it was. If he got the product in his hands, he's like, I don't know what he did. He can have all that because I got my record. And so that was the last time anybody even questioned me for that.
Yeah.
Then probably the most important part came. My deal was always half up front, half when you finish. So I never had POs. I never had the budget. I mean, I'm in control. I write the checks. I get half up front. Because I did that so many years in the business, they all talk. Right? So years later, when I signed with David Geffen for a lot of money, it was always just give him the money. And I mean, it had gotten to like $1 million a record up front. Okay. And the big part of that is a lot of people they wouldn't give that to because they think they're gonna go buy cocaine with it. They ain't gonna never finish the record. They can be out that much money. So they're like, no, here's $10,000. So let me see what you do with that. Here's another 10. Bring me another song. Here's 50. So they divvy it out. But for my deal was all the records firm and they would give me the money. And so my reputation after the Clive deal set me up to do the Brick album, the Cheryl Lynn album, and all the rest of the stuff was always half, New Edition, half and half. Everything was straight. And nobody ever questioned, was I going to do something else with the money? It was going to be funny accounting.
But you had to build up to that.
I had to build up.
You had to build up. You had to build your reputation.
Exactly.
So, because it is a certain thing, especially back in the day, back then, when record companies were the ones that were exposed. They were the ones taking all the chances.
And I don't want to mention names, but I mean, I had friends of mine who got even a quarter of the money up front. Well, they would take it, and they're supposed to cut 2 songs for A&M. They try and cut 2 songs for A&M and 2 more for Capitol on the same budget and piggyback the other. Exactly. They try to stretch it, and then out of that, then they try to pay their house note and rent on the side and think when they brought it in, and they're on 1/10 of the money that nobody's gonna know they didn't spend no money on this.
That's funny, man. But different deals and stuff. It's like my when I first left Solar. Elektra had first rights of refusal on everything on Solar, so that meant that we had to go before I could go anywhere else. I had to talk to Elektra. And at the time, Elektra was like cold as ice, man. They didn't have Anita Baker, nobody.
Yeah,
they had
but they probably was going to pay you.
They had the Eagles, though.
But they were going to pay you, though, right?
But I told my attorney, I said, well, since I have to go there first, let's just make this deal just, ridiculous. Money wise, bump wise, and all that kind of stuff. And Bob Krasnow said, okay. All right.
Okay.
What else we need to do?
Yeah.
So that was, those kind of deals. It's important.
And see what's funny about that when you mention that. See, crazy to you compared to where you were coming from, because everybody knew the word on Solar. I mean, it was impossible for anybody to just get it.
Yeah.
So you went with probably a deal where, okay, I want to get my money this time. And they said, well, of course. What's the problem?
That's
problem?
normal.
That's normal. Yeah, right. I thought you were going to hold us up for the bank or something. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that because
they looked because they were
probably.
That's why I said when you said electors here, I said that's a God win. That's good for you because they were going to pay you.
Yeah.
But so now you're at the plant ranch where they're not taking all your stuff. And when you ask them, what about this? They said, what about it?
Yeah.
It's yours. I mean, what are you asking us for?
Okay.
Okay. Just go make the record. Yeah.
It's funny, man.
So,
it's funny.
That was a good break.
Yeah, it was. It was a great break. And then for you, too, it was like, like I said, to me, Clive Davis, like I said, was one of the last real record cats.
And I was 22 at the time.
Yeah.
When I made the deal. It was... But it's interesting, at that age, because I had done all the stuff in Detroit and Motown and been with all these people, I was of clear mind at 22.
Yeah.
Like I talked to some people and I said, man, we weren't even thinking all that at 22. But I was of clear. I knew I had to have my own studio. I'd already built the studio. I just knew, man, if I could fit the pieces like this, then I don't have to be that guy crying all the time. I could be the guy. And it's got to go like this, though, And, the puzzle, Jack and Jill put all the pieces together. I mean, that really brought it.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, because we used to use your studio all the time. Even when I was starting into my solo situation and stuff, and Monty Seward and I used to
exactly.
be in there, and you would be in the one studio, we'd be over, and we'd be putting the ear up, and listening. What is Ray working on now? But it was real cool. Yeah. We're gonna be right back here in the industry. We're back here in the industry with Ray Parker and myself, Howard Hewett, and we're having a great conversation. I mean, it's like you said,
we're just kicking it, y'all.
Just kidding. I mean, because some of the things, man, that you think about, like you said earlier, when we were off camera, it's amazing how you see the way things take your life.
Yeah. Blessing from God.
Blessing
without anything, because in hindsight, you can always say, I was the genius. I did this. I did it. No, you didn't do that. You could have easily been on the other side of the street and something different would have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I feel very blessed that a lot of positive things lined up in a row. That even when I look back at it, I just go, wow, man, any one of those components could have been off.
You could have been off.
Yeah.
And like we say, you say, you could have easily have been on this side of the street. That happens. This happens, whatever happens.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you can kind of avoid.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
drugs, not necessarily.
Drugs,
alcohol,
crazy characters. Because the one thing in this business is that you will come up against every type of person in that because everybody wants to be part of the music.
Oh yeah, and they want to take your money too.
Yeah, and everybody
got
wants
a
to
business
money.
deal for you. Everybody wants to invest.
I go to a function or whether I come out, I have a pocket full of business cards.
Exactly.
I just had a business card made after being in this business for all these years. I just had a business card made about 2 or 3 years ago, and I still have a whole box of them because I keep forgetting them. Yeah. So but I go someplace and I have a pocket full of business cards. But it's real important to learn how to discern people's characters in your life and avoid certain things. Like I always looked at my life almost like I would put it like a theater. You have the VIP section, which is not very full, and everybody trying to get in.
Right.
You got general admission, which is just a nice amount of people. Now the balcony is overflowing.
They're
hanging off the rafters up in the balcony. So you keep those, for me anyway. You keep, if I kept those certain boundaries happening, and like seeing certain people, you know, were shady characters in the business and whatever. Because last time we saw each other, last time we hung out was
at the movie.
At the movie, Rick Barler's the Tupac movie. And that was like I think a real one of the perfect examples of like, you know, just surrounding yourself.
I felt so bad at that film because from the day he was born, he just didn't have a chance. I mean, it's just his mama was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Then she got into drugs, and then everybody when he first went to that club in New York, the guy gave him the Rolex. Said, "Don't take it." I was like, "Take it back." That's the pimp, the player, the drug dealer.
Exactly.
I mean, you know.
That's how it is.
It just seemed like every time he turned around, he was with the wrong people. He's hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah, but then at the end of the movie though, which was amazing, it showed when they showed all the things that he had done up till he was 20. I mean, to 25 years old. Yeah, that was amazing. It was.
But
great.
see, again, the talent was amazing.
Yeah.
And how many people do we know where the talent was amazing and they still got nothing? In his case, it was worth nothing. He got killed.
Yeah,
right.
Lost his
life.
life.
Even at the end of the film, he's like, "Well, I can't get no money because this guy got all my money. This guy got all thing. I can't leave. I can't, you know. I mean, it has to be terrible."
When you thought about it, I mean, he was in a place, man, where like Rikers Island. I think I would have gravitated towards.
Well, see, my upbringing is. The first time I got shot, I would have never been with them folks. They never seen me. Oh no,
ever again.
If I got some money, I'm taking and going so far away. I mean, you know, you ain't gonna shoot me twice. I mean, I'm done with you guys. You know,
but see, then that's that. But like, look at that also. It's like, you know, those are choices. That you make in your life. I think we all are direct byproducts.
And sometimes you make the choices off of the way you were raised and the surroundings that you were in. You know, see, I had a great mom, great dad, and I was not in those surroundings. And my parents always taught me to do something else. You know, so I was trying to do something more positive and stay out of that group. You know.
See, we were the same thing because my mom was real influential in my first beginnings. My dad was real supportive. I mean, I was at 15. I was playing cabarets. Because I played bass. First instrument was bass. Well, I'm playing cabarets at 15 years old from 12 midnight to 6 in the morning. You know, but like you said earlier, I had to keep my grades up. I had to make that commitment to my parents that I would do that and understand too how important it is to understand what they've sacrificed for you. So you don't want to jack that up either. So there's a certain amount.
And see, that's the other thing that kept me straight too is the knowing that my parents, they can't see me on TV doing nothing too crazy. I mean, you can get a little bit of drama, but they can't see. No, I can't be drugged. I can't. No, we can't have any of that. You know, I would always be like, "Well, is my mama watching this? I mean, she can't be hearing about this stuff going on." You know? So therefore, you just can't do it. You know?
Can't do it. I mean, you know, you get sidetracked on certain things, but it's important to get right back to the middle.
Exactly.
You know, because it's always important to get back to the middle. So yeah, man. So we wrap it up. Because my mind just went blank just right now.
He's having a senior moment.
I'm having a senior moment, thinking about that the senior rate that I could get. We can cut all that out. So okay, wait a minute, because we were gonna go to.
What were we going songwriters?
To? Oh, songwriters.
No,
okay.
we'll do that on the next one.
Okay.
Oh, the next
right.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do more.
Yeah. So yeah, it's important. It's real important, man, to like make good choices in your life and choices with the people that you choose to
even be your friends. It's good to have because if you had the wrong friends, they just even though you think you got another guy, they just lean you over the other way. Next thing you know, you didn't. How'd I get into that? Yeah, because you were hanging with them.
Because you're hanging with the wrong people.
So hanging with the right people is important. Your own self-worth and how you feel about yourself is important. And keeping your own self-image, and it doesn't have to be egotistical. It just has to be positive and clean. Just you got to stay focused.
Yeah, I mean, I have experiences in my life, man, that have taught me the importance of knowing what's going on around you at all times, knowing who you're hanging out with.
And we also spoke about money. It's important to stay focused on the money too.
Right.
Because you can get some money and you can lose all that too.
I mean,
like it goes out so much faster than you made it. You know,
see, like that's because we've seen both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
we've seen it all the way over here. Where back in the day, a lot of cats were talking about, don't talk to me about finances.
Right,
I'm
right.
about creativity.
Exactly.
I got an attorney. I got
my guy.
My guy.
Call
my
my
people,
guy.
my people. And a lot of those cats now are broke.
Exactly.
But
my
then
guy got all the money. Or
Yeah.
my girl got all the money.
And then you come all the way over to this side where it's all
Yeah.
about the money, all
Yeah.
about the Benjamin,
Yeah.
the cheese, the whole thing. And a lot of different points here, the creativity is lacking.
Yeah.
So you got to find that happy
Yeah.
medium.
And I always tell young artists, if there's no money, the music stops.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you can't say the money's not important. Because
Right.
no money, the music stops.
Right.
It's not really important that you go buy Rolls Royces and have 20 million houses. That ain't really the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to stay within your realm, do what you can do, and be proud of what it is that you do, and enjoy yourself. There's always somebody with more, and there's probably a whole lot more people with less.
With less, right,
So you
exactly.
got to be really happy with what you do and be happy with yourself, and not go over the edge. I've seen more people go over the edge trying to chase the guy in front of them.
Because it's like rich, when you really look at rich, to me, rich means that you can sustain the lifestyle that you've chosen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then you're rich.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that you have a big mansion
No.
or a Tesla.
Yeah. I wonder who has a Tesla.
I don't know. I don't know who has a Tesla, but but the car is the whole thing. But when you can fuel the lifestyle that you've chosen, whether it be a 2-bedroom apartment
Right.
and a car, whatever
Makes you happy.
But whatever makes you happy, and you are able to sustain that.
My testament to success was always, and people would ask me, what's the most important thing, is I don't have to get a day job.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to see me really freak out, right?
Have you ever
tell me
had
I
a day
can't.
job?
No, never.
Never had one?
Nope.
No
I've been
one.
playing the guitar my whole life. I
Really?
never had any job other than playing the guitar. I have never clocked in. I have never got a paycheck for anything. That's it. And if somebody said, what would really, it ain't, you can't drive a Tesla no more. It'd be like, oh, no, cut that hair, put on a suit and tie, and show up at 8 o'clock. And we mean 8 o'clock, not 8:03.
Yeah.
That would, I'm gone there.
You go crazy.
Yeah,
I had
going
one
crazy.
night. I had a 9 to 5 when I first got out here. I was about 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
'Cause I touched down to LAX with $34 in my pocket, and I was ready to go, man.
Yeah,
I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And so like I got a job at this department store, working in the women's shoe department. I had a ball.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
was
not
like,
a good job.
Man, I had so much. I worked that job for about 7-8 months now because the whole time
Rubbing
I was,
women's feet and all
oh,
that
man,
stuff. When they come
I mean,
in.
you're not wearing stockings.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
legs are perfect. I got so much action. It's
Yeah, right.
crazy. But the whole time I was working there, I was like rehearsing with this show group,
Yeah.
and then I eventually went overseas with. So, it's like, hey man, you do what you have to do,
Right, to
and
make it work.
to make it work and make it happen. And that B side, that B plan.
Yeah.
The B plan is like to do this until you can do that or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I mean, but you never put that if that's
No.
what you want.
Yeah.
You never put that out of
Exactly.
the picture and stuff. Yeah. All right. We'll be right back. The industry. We're back with the industry, talking to Ray Parker Jr. Now we talked about before your deal with Clive and with Arista Records and writing Ghostbusters and the importance, and all the way back then, the importance of writing.
Yeah.
But it is, a lot of things nowadays with the internet, with streaming, with downloading, the downloads and all that kind of stuff, digital downloading. And a lot of writers today are complaining about, not being able to get everything that's due to them because of, the way that that things are changing now.
And they're right.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, today I hate to say I cashed a royalty check for a penny.
Yeah.
I want to call the company and say, why don't you
I know.
save 5 of them? Then you can send me the postage at $4. And I get $20 at least.
Yeah.
But I cashed a check for a penny. It cost 40 cents just to send it to
Just
me.
in it, right.
And what has happened and it's unfortunate at this particular time in history, but for the first time in life, technology is going faster than we passed the laws. So we're lobbying in Washington, and Washington is acting like they're 20 years ago. Okay, the musicians, okay, y'all get 1-2 things a year. We can only give you. Then the government, we give them 1-2 things, and that's it. So they pass 1 or 2 things a year, but the technology requires that we need 10 things a year passed, and they're not moving it that fast. I mean, one of the big things for us is now they're streaming, right? But now that we have digital, you can track the songs, but they just got to change the rate of the streaming. So it's just like 10 years ago there was Napster,
right?
So you're talking about download. How about just free? Just
take
the song, do whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah,
okay, so that's changed. It's gotten better. Apple came up with a system where it's like, hey, you can get a bad song, or you can just buy 99 cents, get the song with the pictures and the whole thing, which has worked pretty good. People, are paying for the downloads. What has to happen now? And I hear Google is losing their license this year.
Really?
They're the biggest perpetrator is YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody else is chump change to YouTube and Google. So they've lost their license this year, so they're going to have to come on board. And what's interesting, talking to my lawyer, is one of my best advisor friends, Passman. He says the music business is going to be better. And what he said is his research showed that years ago they spent $40 a year buying music or buying records, so you get your royalties out of that. He says with the new streaming, they spend $120 a year because $10 a month. So he says they're going to be spending 3 times as much money. So the business is going to actually get better.
Really?
It's going to get bigger and better.
Okay.
Not necessarily for selling product, but for the usage of the product. It's going to be 3 times what your royalty used to be.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, very good.
But they got to pass the laws and change the stuff. And everybody's contracts are coming up. And, this is America, so you know how businesses are. They knew they should have paid in the first place. But what they're thinking to themselves is, wow, we don't pay none of the musicians, for like 2 or 3 years. It's an extra $3 billion for us. So we keep the $3 billion. Okay, y'all, okay, we'll start today.
We'll start today.
But their pockets are $3 billion deep with your money.
Yeah, with interest rates, everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you really want justice, they should really have to go back in time and do something retroactive.
Right.
Which ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
That just won't happen.
Yeah, they have. There's other things now also with reclaiming your
you can reclaim successfully the publishing in America.
Okay.
It's 35 years if you wrote the song from 1978 on. It's 50 years if you wrote it before 78. Okay. So,
Yeah, because a lot of people are coming.
But that's only in America. It's not worldwide.
It's not world. It's not in the.
You're supposed to be able to get your masters back, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and that's a certain amount of time also, right?
But time has been up and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
The publishing thing, people actually get.
Right.
I think some guys in Nashville came up. They passed a law there, and people have actually been getting it back. But you got to file on time. If you miss the window, you don't get it over. And and even though it's not worldwide, it's nice to get it back.
Yeah, I know.
If you gave away your publishing,
ownership, ownership is always a good thing, and that's what you strive for. Like I said again, that's what I credit a lot of the cats that came in the rap game. For really making that happen and making people, look at that a lot as far, and of course Prince, all the work that he did, as far as like trying to make us all aware and more aware of what
I saw Jay-Z speak at an ASCAP convention one time. And they were asking him, well, how do you success? He said the best thing that happened to me is I couldn't get a record deal. So I was forced to learn how to sell my own record. He said that taught me to own everything. He says other than that, I would have had a deal like the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
He said I just couldn't get a deal. He says I couldn't get nobody to sign me.
That's funny. That's funny, but true, because like the record companies, I mean, I'm watching this thing on HBO now. The Defiant Ones.
I want to see that. I have not seen that yet, but I do want to see it. I heard everybody says it's great.
You have to check it out. The whole rise and the combination of Jimmy Iovine and Dre and everything that they did as far as from straight out from NWA. All the way, and then a lot. I mean, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of all the stuff that Jimmy had done.
Oh yeah,
actually, I mean,
started
Rattle and Hum.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, amazing stuff. Stuff I love, and to see to see their whole journey from NWA, from Stevie Nicks and all that, from Jimmy Iovine to Apple situation, man, it's like it's amazing.
And that's why I said when people say, well, what's the business ain't like it used to be. Yeah, we didn't have no Apple back then. But nobody gonna give you no $3 billion for nothing. You know. Yeah, I mean, so I feel very encouraged with the new talent and new things because they're not selling vinyl records. So if you're waiting to get your royalty on a gold album, gold ain't even what they call it no more.
I know.
But everything else is huge.
Yeah.
Everything else is huge. If you think about the airplay money, your song used to be in the old days, they had to write it on a sheet of paper. I played Howard's record. Well, they didn't feel like writing it that day, you didn't get paid. And it was the multiple, so you didn't get paid the multiple.
Yeah.
Now it's digitally encrypted, so they know every time your song plays.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
You have companies like Sound Exchange.
Yeah. That
go in and lock all that stuff in.
I remember my first Sound Exchange. I was like, what's a Sound Exchange? About 20 cents I got. Now I get thousands of dollars from Sound Exchange.
I love that. I love Sound Exchange. Yes. Sound Exchange checks are great, but it's like it's all that because a lot of people always say, "Well, what do you think about, what's going on now?" I think what's going on now is amazing.
Yeah.
I think if you're able, but you have to be able to take that old school hat off and put on the hat of technology and what's happening today, and not get stuck in that whole situation because it's a different time. It's different.
See, most people can't do that. And what's nice about that is that gives the new people a chance to make more money.
Right.
If the record been stayed the same, which we were already getting down to just 3-4 companies, right, that owned everything. But once they learn the game, they just keep playing the same game, and they started before you, and you don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So what happens is every time you flip the game up every 6-7 years, everybody got to start over.
Yeah.
And then some new guy finds a new way to make money. He emerges as the new hero. It works. Yeah, it works.
From time to time. It works. Napster all the way down to.
And that's what I tell my kids. So I got 2 sons that are playing music. One Gibson, 19, Jericho, 17. I said, don't just learn how to make beats. Right? Don't just learn this rap thing. You need to learn all the music. Music is going to change every 6-7 years. You can bank on it.
Yeah.
Right? Don't think this is going to be the same. The one you listen to now, you ain't going to be listening to that 6-7 years. No one. So you got to be able to morph and change, and you got to have enough music ability and knowledge to stay in the game and make it work for you.
Yeah. I tell my son the same thing. It was like I always say he's an amazing musician. If I was half the musician my son is, it's like I wouldn't be sitting here. But he has to. I told him he has to learn about changing and understanding what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Because other than that, you're gonna stay locked into a certain thing, and you can't buck, progress. You can't buck progress because technology is not going to change.
Right.
I just stand on that soapbox all the time when I'm out on the road, and I see people our age and say, I don't buy music anymore.
Right.
Well, why don't you buy it? I can't even work my
cell
phone.
I don't know where to put it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, so then you're going to be dictated to, for the rest of your life, what to listen to and what you can't listen to. There's a lot of stuff people talk about. Oh, the music today is not. They have some amazing music today.
Yeah.
But you got to get on there and get on in the internet and into the whole situation. You have to get in there and you have to research it and you have to sift through the bull crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like we used to, even back in the day, we had to sift through the bull crap.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can name a couple artists.
Yeah, don't.
that put some records out and you had to like, man, what is
I can't
this?
believe they sold that. Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
But now, you just like back then, now you have to sift through it also. And there's some amazing stuff out there, amazing artists out there now.
Yeah. And I feel in my personal opinion, at least what I personally like, I like the music the last 10 years better than the 10 years before. I didn't like that period. There's a period in the 90s where everybody's like, shoot your mama, kill the police. Everybody was angry.
Yeah.
Maybe it had a reason to be, but the music was not romantic. It was just everybody was mad, and everybody just kill each other. Let's shoot it. I'm gonna smoke you. You smoke her. If I get you first. I mean, it was just all. I didn't like the negative message. You know? I don't care if it was real or not real. I don't care if it was heartfelt. But it was just like, what happened to romance and the girls? And girls don't have to be bitches and hoes. Why do girls want to be? Why do they like to get called bitches? I mean, so we get back to a little bit more romance now.
Exactly.
And if that's old school, it works for me.
Yeah, it's getting back to romance, and they're getting back to reality as far as that whole thing is concerned, because it left such a negative trail. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And self-esteem, especially for a woman, you know, I think is so important. And any way that you keep, when you keep pounding and pounding and pounding a negative situation into the atmosphere, is like, I think is, and music is powerful, man.
Yep, it's very
music.
I saw a show, American Greed, which I like to watch.
Yeah.
And it showed these girls getting their butt injections, and dying. I mean, a couple of girls were dying, getting butt injections because everybody told them they should look like this hoe or whatever, And it was just like, really? I mean, because but that's what they thought of themselves, because that's the image that was projected.
That was being pounded into their head. With different images, the whole thing. So it's like that's why I believe as artists, it's our responsibility to put certain positive things in the air, put certain things out there, and you got to you have to talk about reality and talk about what's happening in the world, and but there's so many ways that you can put it that makes it that makes it constructive rather than destructive. I used to listen to some of the ways that Prince would phrase things. I mean, it was just cold blooded. It's wow, did he say that?
Exactly.
And he said it and put it in a way where it could be accepted and where it could be uplifting to a certain point. But there were even some things with him that he wouldn't do later on.
Exactly.
All right, we'll be right back. Peace. What's up? This is Howard Hewett. We're back here in the industry. We're here with Ray Parker Jr. and we've been having a great conversation. You think about things that you do, to keep your craft up. Like I always tell kids, when they talk about getting into the industry, they say, well, what's some of the most important things? And a lot of things they say is like, you have to be in the right place in the right time. And
I say the right place all the time.
Yeah, right place.
And wait till the right time catches up. You know what the right place is, but we don't know what the right time is.
But see, I always tell them like that. It's like that's true. You have to be in the right place, the right time, all the time, or whatever. So, but there's a part of that saying that a lot of people have discarded through the years.
You better be ready.
And that's it. Right place, right time,
and prepare.
That's
right.
Because if you're not prepared, you can be in the right place, the right time all day long. And nothing's gonna happen, and so like I tell them if you sing, then sing. If you write, If you dance. If you act. Because you never know who's out there watching, and are listening, and even if nobody's out there watching and listening, you're further in your craft.
Right.
You're further. What do you do?
First of all, I do all of the above. I write the songs, I sing, I play the guitar every day, all day. And I'm always on tour, playing some concerts. I'm playing on other people's records all the time because I like to see what everybody else is doing. I do TV shows, so I'm in the music all the time. In fact, I just built a huge studio right next door to my house. You gotta come check it out.
I gotta go check it out.
So we're in there like religiously because in my life, all I really care about, I just love music. I just love doing it. And I've been proficiently trained at it. So I can work with just about anybody, and I do work with them. I'm doing a Boss Skaggs album in a couple of weeks.
Boss Skaggs.
Did a Motown cartoon for Netflix the other day. So there's just a lot of things I'm doing.
Boss Skaggs, man. Every time I hear Boss Skaggs, that's because I relate so much because Dirty Lowdown had just come out when I first got out of here. When I first got to LA. So every time I hear that, it takes me back. But it's those are real important things. And what would you say to a young person? I know this is one of those those rote questions or whatever. But what advice?
It's almost like I was discussing earlier. You got to be, first of all, you need to learn everything about your craft.
Right.
Not just the one little thing you think is necessary. And be open to other kind of music. Play a little country and western music. Try it. Play some classical. I mean, I play a little bit of everything. Rock and roll, classical, anything. Play everything. Yeah. Because you never know where things are going to lead you.
What's going to click.
Yeah, what's going to click. In fact, we were doing this Motown cartoon, and I was doing it for Don Was, and Don Was, we were having just a great time. And he shocks me in the middle of the thing. And I think, man, this is amazing. We're playing all these old songs, and we're having a great time. I said, it doesn't get any better. Is this? Well, maybe. I says, what? And right in the middle of the session, he says, you might be playing drums on the new Rolling Stones album.
Wow.
And I'm like, everybody's like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking? We couldn't be any further. That's Mars over there, and the moon's way over there, last I checked, right?
Yeah.
And then he looked at me, he says, no, I'm serious. He says, Keith Richards called me up. And I guess like a couple of years ago, y'all were jamming together in New York. And you were playing the guitar, he's playing the guitar. He said, but somehow you got on the drums. And he liked the beat you were playing on the drums, and he wants to use it on the record.
On the record. See?
See what I mean? So I'm sitting there playing the drums.
Yeah.
And, just fooling around. Just fooling around. But he taped it. Yeah. And he likes the tape.
Yeah.
And Don was like, I'm not 100% sure. He says, but I'm pretty sure. He says, it looks like he's going to be playing drums on the new Rolling Stones album.
See? You never know.
You never know
where it's going to take you. And you have to be open to everything as far as like, and learn everything you can, like you said, as far as the skill and your craft and everything is concerned. Man, this has been great, man.
Yeah.
This has been seriously great conversation. Yeah. And we hope that we've enlightened some of you out there as far as like the information that we're sharing, and that's what it's all about. It's about because when you get to a certain point, you got to give back.
Yeah,
you got to give back. It's not about holding everything in, because there's what your legacy. Yeah. This is part of our legacy.
This is part of the thing.
This is part of the whole situation. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Ray Parker Jr.
Nice to be
here in the industry. We'll see you next time. God bless. Well, we just said 4 decades, man. You might be 40 years old.
They don't know what a decade is.
I know.
He's been in the music business for 4 decades.
Been around, so he just playing the game. Sing a songwriter, out your mind. My guest's been around for 4 decades. He don't know but been around again. There's a Bible, 7 Bible, there's
Okay. Cool. We got all